Hello, my name is Wendy Dela Cruz, and I'm the new assessment specialist for the district. I work primarily with AWARE and MAP. If you have any questions about these programs or this video in particular, you can email me at wdelac@neisd.net, or you can reach me on Skype for Business. In this video, I'm going to be showing you steps for creating assessments in AWARE. They're pretty quick and easy. We go to the Assessment tab, create a new blank test so that we can search for items from the item bank. And when you're naming the test, it's important that you write your school, grade, subject, unit, month, and year. If there are any issues with your test and you need us to help troubleshoot, it helps us find it more quickly. And it also just gives more information for you for next year in case you want to copy that assessment and reuse it in the future. In this video, because I'm going to be showing you how to add items from the item bank, it's important for you to know which subject you're going to be using. In an upcoming video, I'm going to be showing you how to search for ELAR and SLAR questions by switching to the resources so that you can find the passage first and then the questions that would go with it. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to write a math test, but the same procedure as this goes for math, science, or social studies. You can search for questions by TEK. In an upcoming video, I'll show you how to finalize the test and also how to prepare it for online testing. So when you log into AWARE, it defaults to the Analyze tab. Switch to Assessments. Down towards the bottom, you'll see the options for how to create a test. For the purposes of this video, because we're going to be searching for items from the item bank to create our test, we want to create a new blank test. This is where you need to follow those district naming conventions. And so you'll think about your school. And so let's say I'm a Wilshire teacher and I'm creating a 5th grade math data. You can see I've made this one already, March 2020. Okay, then I choose my subject, my grade level. It's not required that you set a performance level for approaches, meets, and masters, but we recommend that you do, so that you can track student progress over time. It helps you predict the performance level at the end of the year, the achievement level of the student, and also maintains or helps you maintain, evaluate whether or not the student is growing, maintaining growth over time. Then you'll need to choose your associated course, which TEKs are you going to be using. Okay, if you are writing a science or social studies test, you can also add another course. Often those grade levels, especially in 5th and 8th grade, need to use TEKs. You need to use questions and TEKs from multiple courses. So I can click and add another course, and I could add in 2 math courses. So for example, if I was doing a 5th grade science test, I could have my 5th grade science course, and then I could have 4th grade science TEKs and also 3rd grade science TEKs. But because I'm only going to do a 5th grade math test, I'm going to delete that. Down at the bottom, you'll notice that the button for generating test, it was grayed out previously, now it is blue. If it is still grayed out when you're making your test, it's because you have not finished one of these areas up here. And likely it's usually I notice that teachers haven't added their course. So just make sure you click where it says add a course to add your course. Click generate test. It defaults here to my questions tab. I'm going to click on the blue plus sign in order to add a question. If I was writing my own questions, I would click here, new item, and then I would have to type out the entire question and all the answer choices. But I'm going to be searching for items from our item bank. So I'm going to click here. It defaults to the questions. This is where reading and ELAR and SLAR teachers would search by resource, but we're going to search by question. I can scroll down by TEK, and I can choose the TEK, or I can filter the standard. Since I know I'm writing a data test, I can write data, and it'll pull up any of the TEKs that have to do with data. Also, if I know the TEK number, I can type that in, and it pulls up any TEKs that have that number in there. So I'm going to click on my readiness TEK. It pulls up all my questions that are associated with this TEK. Notice that there are 20 questions, and over to the right I can filter down and narrow down the types of questions that I see. So say I wanted to see if there are any numerical response. Oh, none for this teak. So what if I wanted a constructed response? I can click here, and it gives me those open-ended questions. Or if I want to just look at the multiple choice, I click on selected response. So right now it's showing 16 selected response. Another thing that's also really important is knowing that, especially for math, they're going to be showing you all the English and Spanish together. So then I'm going to switch to my language to English, and it pulls up my 8 English questions, or I switch to Spanish, and it shows only my 8 Spanish questions for this TEK. Okay, so then notice that I can't see the entire question yet. It's kind of blurs out towards the bottom here. If I click on it, where it shows my mouse shows that hand, it will expand my question, and then I can see all parts of it. I can read the whole thing. I can see this green line means that is the correct answer that's associated with it. And I can decide if I like this question, I can click Add Question. And then notice it switches to Remove Question. If I change my mind, I can click back and forth. And then I can click on the next one and go, yep, I need this type of question. And yep, I also need this type of question. And I can just go in and add different questions. Okay, I could also go ahead and just add all 8 displayed questions. Now I can think about them later, and I can hover over them and go, oh no, I don't want a scatter plot question here. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. You can look at each one and delete if necessary. Okay. None of these questions are actually on my test yet. They're still just in my question shopping cart. And so once you're ready to commit and add them to your test, you have to click here, Add to Test. Okay, so now it's pulled up all of my questions, and I can look at them and make changes as I want. On this question tab, that's where if I do need to make any changes, I would do it on this question tab. So let's say I need to edit a question and I need to change something. So maybe this is a one-step problem and I want it to be a two-step problem. I can add in here and type in any information that I want to make it a more difficult question or a simpler question, or just change some of the vocabulary. Maybe I don't want it to be that name. Maybe I just want it to be Topper Elementary. There's all kinds of things that I can change within this question. I can give it a little bit more space by clicking here and pressing enter, and go down here below my graph, press enter again. Notice there's just this little bar now. And then I can go down and I can look at any and all of the answer choices. This is notating that D is the correct answer. If I clicked here, I could move this answer choice up to the C position. I could move it up to the B position if I needed to switch the correct answer, the placement of the correct answer. It still kept this one with the 20 as my correct answer. Okay? Now, before I go to another question, I need to click Save. If I forget to do that, when I go to try to edit another question, it's grayed out and it won't let me click on it. So that's my cue to remember to click Save. Okay. The TEKs have already been assigned. Anytime you pull over questions from the item bank, it gives you everything for it. It gives you all of the TEKs. It gives you all of the answers. It gives you the correct answer already written out. Everything's done for you. I would still recommend that you read through it. Make sure that it makes sense. Make sure that you agree with the correct answer and there's not any little editing things that need to be done before you send it out to students. Okay. Now, I only added questions for one TEK. I also have a couple of other TEKs in my data unit. Any place that I see a blue plus sign, I can add a question there. Okay, so I can go all the way to the bottom and add it after question 6, or if I want to add in one here before question 5, I can click there, and I can add more questions by searching for the item bank. I'm going to again filter by data, and this time I'll choose my scatterplot TEK. I'll come over and I will filter down by English. So I've only got 6 questions now. Let's see if there are any numerical responses. Nope, there are not. And, oh, I only got rid of 5 selected response questions for this. So again, if I click on them to expand them to decide if that's the question that I like or not, I follow the same procedure and add to test when I'm ready. Okay, so that's how you add questions to a test. Um, know that when you see on the questions tab, it defaults to non-alternate lettering, which means it's all going to be, if you look at the answer choices, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. If you want it to be alternate, you click there, and then that switches them A, B, C, D, F, G, H, J, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, J. Or I can take it back off and leave it. So that's how you create assessments from items from the item bank. Look for an upcoming video about how to finalize the test and push it out to students, and set up online testing for them. I'll also be recording a separate video that shows you more in detail how to add items for ELAR and SLAR by searching for the passage and then the questions.